Are you aware of let, where, and const?
Yeah, let where and const. Earlier only where was there, where we have to just where whenever you are initializing any variable, so there is a keyword called where, which means whenever the JavaScript code runs, it in the entire stack, like the where is declared, and which will be common, which will be global to everywhere in the which will be global to everywhere in the function in the JavaScript program. But later let and const are declared, where variable where don't have any limitations. We can update it as many times we want. But in case of const, it is a constant variable, which means we can only update it uh, once a while, and we can't update it later. In case of let, it is like if you declare within any like brackets, or we can say within any scope, so it will reside in only that particular scope, which means we cannot we cannot access it out of that scope. This is the let means.
Okay. What about const?
And cons, like we cannot redeclare, or we cannot update it, and they are also exist within that particular scope also only.
Okay. Uh, have you heard of hoisting? Hoisting
Yeah.
in JavaScript.
Oh, yeah, hosting is a process, or we can say in JavaScript, wherever you declare you declare any variable where or any function before running the code. The hosting is while compiling, the hosting is performed where every function declaration and every variable declaration is brought the on the top of the code, so that whenever it is accessed, where before we declare it, if we can also access it before we declare any function.
Got it. What is HTML?
HTML is a hypertext language, hypertext markup language. So it is like a skeleton. It is in a web page. HTML acts like a skeleton, just like our body. The bone structure is acts like a skeleton. It gives the structure to the our web page using all the different elements, tags, like this.
So, are you aware of some tags in HTML? Can you give some
Yes.
examples? Okay.
So the first first tag will you we use div section, the h1 h2, the heading tags. Then there will be image tag, there will be p tag for a paragraph, then anchor tag a.
Okay. Okay. Now, in all these tags, what are inline tags and what are block level tags?
So the span, which is inline tag,
Hmm.
where the div is a no span, span is the inline tag and
Hmm.
div is a block level tag.
Can you explain the difference between inline and block level element?
So the inline tag will be it goes like, so if you use one tag, after that you use inline tag, it will going to uh, come, the element of that particular tags come just after that particular tag in
Hmm.
inline also, where the block element it creates a block to your web page. So it will be one block, then another block. So
Hmm.
if you are using continuous block elements, so it will be first block, then second block, and then third block.
What are meta tags?
Meta tags are used to provide the information about the web page. So like which language is used, which browser is used, we are using which type of
Hmm.
HTML5 we are using, or
Got it.
like that.
Okay. In CSS, do you have you heard of CSS selectors?
Yes.
Can you explain about this?
So the for CSS selectors, we can use to select any element of a particular HTML page. We can use using class, using dot. So for class we use dot. For ID, so if we are given particular ID to a particular tag, so we use hashtag for that particular ID.
Hmm.
So the particular tag
So,
which we have given that particular id going to be selected. Then the for given tags there are directly we can name that particular tag. So I, for example, I have to select all the divs in my web page. So I'm going to write directly div and then give the css property to it.
Okay. Have you heard of something called universal selector?
Yeah, so we can use stars, which is give which is select all the elements in the html.
Okay. What is CSS box model?
So we have css box model is like so for any particular element there is will be one body. After that there will be padding, there will be border, and there will be margin. So this model is used to locate and sizing our elements in the web page. So we can give padding and margin for how many gaps will be there between the particular other elements, and also the how many how much border will be there.
Okay.
So
Another
this
question. So, uh, what are the ways you can give these values? So, one way is I know pixel values. I can use percentage. I can use REM. What are the difference between all these values?
so so the one another is pixel. Pixel is directly the how many pixel you want to give. Then there is percentage. So percentage will be depend on the parent tag, the parent of that particular child. So the 100% will be the 100% size of the parent. Then there will be ram. Then there will be view wv viewport. So the viewport works like the what are the size of screen we can view. From that it will be giving us the viewport like
Okay.
this.
What is grid? What is flex? Are you aware of any of it?
So I am aware of flex. And so flex and grids are like, flex is, it will be flexible. So we can give the display flex to the any particular element, and it will be flexible according to the screen of our body. Where the grid we can give that the these element, the column and the rows we give in grid, and it will arrange in that particular column and row according to the screen.
Okay.
Basically this.
Another question. How do you make sure that the code you write in while building this application is responsive? So if you're given a goal to build a responsive web page, what are the areas which you will focus on while writing the code?
So first I will give. I am avoiding using height and width in pixel because it will be fixed. So I will give either in percentage or in viewport, uh, VW, or a font size will be an REM or like this. And also I will give display flex, which will be flex according to in column and row. I can also use grids. So after that particular length, the grids, the column will be two, column will be one, like this.
Okay.
I can use that.
Mm, have you heard of media queries?
Yes, I have heard. Yeah, I can also use that in
Okay.
responsive website. So for
Okay.
media queries, you can, like, there are three sections in my the website I have created. In that
Mm,
also there are three sections. One is nav section, one is middle section, and one is nav section. So I have used media queries. So for which the the more my screen got smaller, the I am the display none, the
mm,
one or two sections of my
mm.
website, and I am using buttons to display block or display none. Yeah.
You are given element. That particular element is a div, and it has a class name of id. So class name is id. How you can make sure that id is in center of the screen? So in entire html dom there is only one tag inside body. It's one particular div. You have to center that in body.
Okay, so I will do like I will give the property of flex on entire body, and I will assign display flex, and item aligns center, justify content center also, it will go here and here,
Hmm.
so it will be in middle of the
Uh,
body.
what if flex reduction is column?
Text reduction is column. uh, then I will assign the column values, mid column value.
Okay. What is the default flex direction?
Default flex direction is a row, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. What are the ways I can make sure my website is responsive?
Okay, the first you can use the elements like display flags and those things. Second, you can, instead of using the fixed size, you can use relative size for giving adjustment and alignments. Like you are giving, you want to place on picture over there, so instead of giving the uh, uh, fixed size, you can assign rem or percentage will do,
Hmm.
like it will base of parent class, it will adjust itself. Second and third one is you can use by media query. You can use mean and max width media queries to assign for phone, tablet and laptop screens over there.
Okay. Are you aware of JavaScript?
Yes, I am aware of JavaScript.
Okay. What are the data types in JavaScript?
Okay, the data types are number, boolean, undefined, then number, boolean, undefined, characters only, the strings.
Okay. What is the difference between class and ID in CSS?
Okay, the both are the selectors for that. Class is for you can give for whole structure. ID also you can give, but ID will be specific for that element only.
Okay. What is the difference between margin and padding?
Margin and padding. Margin is like you want to that is two button. You want to move those button. You want to give some space between those two button. Then you will assign margin left or margin right. So it will assign over there. But if you use padding, then padding is outer layer. It will compress that button inside that.
Okay. Can you tell me basic Git commands you are aware of?
Okay, the basic git command is like push for pushing data over the repository, pull for the fetching data from repository to your device, then uh, add to move your files to staging area, then commit for staging area to repository, you will commit, then
Hmm.
check out, git checkout you, if you want to come back at the certain point of time or certain point,
Hmm.
then you can come back to that point also for recovering purpose. Commit is also there.
Okay. So is it possible with Git commands? I wrote some code on Tuesday, and Wednesday I'm adding few more commits. Now on Thursday I want to get the code which I want my code base to be at the same stage which I was on Tuesday. How will you do that with Git commands?
Okay, so there will be some hash code over there or directly commits name over there. You can use git checkout and that hash code of previous day or day that point you want to be, and you can assign that or you can assign that commit also. So at you will assign write that code, and after that you will at that point on Wednesday or previous day.
Are you aware of storage options in your browser?
Storage over, yes, it will be local storage.
Uh, so three questions. What is local storage? What is session storage? What are cookies?
Okay, the local storage is like some temporary data you can store over there. It's it work in key value pairs. Cookies, it's like it will store your suppose example your ID password, which is you want to fulfill in some another time also. So it will store that
Hmm.
repetitive things over there. And session storage is for like it will store for one session, like you will close the browser, it will go.
So the difference is between all three of them explained by you is session storage is has very limited time span. Local
Yes.
storage does local. So if I close my entire browser and open it again, will that value be stored in local storage? Or it will go away like session storage.
Yes, it will be there for local storage.
Okay. And what about cookies?
Cookies is for storing some temporary, not temporary, but ID password or something which is repetitively will be used.
Okay. The Have you used any of this in your website? The one which you built?
No, I haven't used any of that until now.
Okay. Okay. Uh, are you aware of CSS properties, position, relative, absolute, and fixed?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give a detail about it?
Okay, so property relative will work, right? It's at suggest name relative, so it will be relative over the other things like parent thing. So when we will shrink our screen, then it will go like downwards in relative.
Hmm.
Absolute will be like you will assign the position absolute, so it will be absolute at that position only. When you are changing your screen or aligning screen, there won't be affect that position. And
Okay.
relative align and other another one is
Absolute, relative, fixed.
okay. And fix and absolute I think words most of the same.
Another question: how can you include CSS in an HTML file? What are the
Okay,
ways of
so
including CSS in HTML file?
HTML file, if there are internal on inline internal and external, three types you can add. Inline you will basically add in that line only, like I have used p. I am using paragraph tag p, and I want to give that color in that paragraph, suppose red, so I will assign directly color red or style color red, so it will assign inline only. Internal means in same index file you will assign in header. In header you will assign the css, and external you will make external files and then link with the header, link with the
Hmm.
script, link with the links over the
Got it.
head format.
Okay. Now, few more questions. Yeah, few
Your
more
voice is not.
question. A few more questions on how exactly you decided to go for Angular and React. So, what are the elements which are missing in normal vanilla JavaScript, which requires you to use libraries or framework like React or Angular?
Okay, so first one is when you are using this as some basic vanilla this, then you have to write code for something. Means from scratch you have to write a code. But when you are using Angular or React, you will just write command for some app, then it will generate automatically code for that page or module over there. So you don't have to write again and again for that thing. Second is
Hmm.
like it will using of React and Angular, which help more in building the single page applications. You don't have to, if you are using html css, you will click the contact, suppose in nav bar you have many options, you will click suppose contact button, so the whole page will load and it will forward it to contact button, like it will take time. But when you are using the some component of angular and react, then it you just assign that value, it won't load whole page but it will load only that component over here. It's work in module part, so other module will be fixed but that module only will change.
Got it.